The Australian online jobs website freelancer.com has listed on the Australian Securities Exchange today. The local initial public offering comes hot on the heels of Twitter's IPO. Freelancer sold 30 million shares at 50 cents each. It's now trading at around $1.50. That's a 200% increase so far. Matt Barrie is the CEO of freelancer.com and he joins me now. Matt Barrie, you must be happy with the result today.
So far, so good.
Now, the listing of Freelancer comes just a week or so after Twitter. Was that part of the IPO strategy at all?
No, not at all. That was just coincidence.
Okay, but you have limited the amount of shares that you have released today. Can you run us through the strategy in the lead up to the IPO?
We thought the listing would, I mean, this space is in it's infancy, right? We have 9 million users globally, and companies like eBay have 9 million in Australia alone. So there's a long way to go. So we thought this is probably the best path. So we, maintain being masters of our own destiny, because we think there's going to be a lot of work still to build this up into a big company.
Okay, well, despite the rise in the share price today, the company is still trading at a fairly high multiple, so investors will be expecting growth fairly quickly. How are you preparing to achieve that?
We have a great team, and it's all heads down and just execute at this point.
Okay, so what targets have you set then?
We've just got the targets that we presented in the prospectus for this year. We're not forecasting past that at this point, but we're just looking at that top line revenue number and just trying to grow that as fast as possible.
Okay, well, let's talk about freelancer.com. You essentially take advantage of the low-cost global workforce and match it up with, businesses across the globe. Do you have any concerns about the concept actually driving wage prices down further?
Oh, no. I mean, the types of work we're talking about is sort of small project work. So things like design a logo or design a website and so forth. And, there's no evidence that we've had any impact on anything like that. I mean, this is really all about empowering small businesses to get things done. So if you're a cafe owner and you need to build a website, in the past it might be quite expensive for you, too hard to find someone. Now we give you basically a digital workforce that will help you kind of unleash your inner entrepreneur. If you've got any ideas at all about wanting to improve your business or build a business, you can now hire someone to do so. And likewise, in the developing world, it's empowering entrepreneurs who are basically starting service organisations and rising with their standards of income.
Okay, well, you claim to be the global leader, or at least one of them in this space. Who are the competitors?
There's some US competitors out there, but we're the leaders so far in terms of numbers of users and numbers of projects posted.
Okay, well, this company you started back in 2009 in Australia. How hard was it to get a tech company off the ground?
It was really hard back then, actually. I mean, we're just talking the tail end of the GFC, and the concept might seem obvious now that you can use the internet to hire someone anywhere in the world. But back then, when I'd pitch the idea and say, "Did you know you can hire someone in Bangladesh to build a website for you?" People would say, "Where's Bangladesh? Do they speak English? Do they have computers, etc." So it was pretty tough getting the concept around, because just the concept was very, very new.
Okay, in terms of getting seed capital in Australia, is that a much harder proposition than if you're in the US, for example?
Seed capital is actually pretty good in Australia. So if you want to raise $20,000 or $50,000, there's lots of people now that will write you a check, and there's a lot of incubators around. The problem area in Australia is that sort of valley of death where you want to raise between sort of $1 and $5 million. Past $5 million, it's a global market, and so venture capitalists from all around the world and private equity people are coming down here actively and looking for deals. But it's really, really tough if you're an Australian business and you want to raise a small amount of money, $1 to $5 million. That's really difficult.
Is there anything that Australia could do better in order to foster startups in the country?
I mean, there's plenty of things. I mean, I think we need to really fix the education system in this country, particularly in K-12 around technology. I mean, we've had declining enrolments in the hard sciences and engineering now for well over a decade, and it's dropping quite strongly, which is bad. I think we really need to make an effort to try and build the curriculum up so you have more kids out there. I mean, they're all excited about Facebook and mobile phone apps and self-driving cars and Google Glass, but they just can't connect the dots in terms of what a career path is for them around that. So I think we could do a lot there and get a lot more people in the industry, and I think it's the best thing we could really do at this point.